Hello, hello. It is another Tea and Talk Tuesday with Latonia. I first have to apologize to y'all. Last week, I just couldn't make it. I tried. My day was so full that I just could not step away for half an hour to be able to do the live stream. And I missed y'all. I missed the comments. I missed the feedback that I received. So I am back here today because I dared not get off to church and did not get a chance to give y'all some tea for this week as to what it is that we're going to be highlighting and talking about. As I mentioned to y'all, we will be having a guest very soon who will be joining us via the live stream. And so I'm looking forward. I am not going to disclose, but I have two individuals who have already confirmed that they will be available. So I look forward to having y'all join me. I have a youth guest that I'm going to be inviting as well because I feel like you can engage the young people. Young people have so much to offer, and I absolutely can attest to that. Being someone that works a lot with young people and just vibing from their energy because there's something special about the strength and the creativity and just the vulnerability that young people often put out there. So, thank you to all my young folks, and especially want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have purchased my book, Mission Rich and Profit Powered. Can I get it right? Yes, I can. I got it right. And so, for those of you who have not purchased yet, you can absolutely purchase. The book is available on Amazon. However, if you would like to receive a signed copy, I encourage you to purchase the book directly from me, missionrichandprofitpowered.com, and I will send you a nice personal thank you list. Get because you are worthy. You are worthy. And so I thank you so much for that. And I just want to jump right into it. So, what is the conversation of today? The conversation of today is very simple. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. I was not sure of what I was going to talk about today because March 15th is coming up. And for those of you who are not aware that you can still opt in to file as an S corporation if you are an LLC. And so March 15th is the deadline. And I was going to talk about that and kind of dig into that. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to leave that conversation for my Mission Rich Academy folks. And so, my Mission Rich Academy folks, yes, yes, you can register for the Academy workshops. We are up and running. You probably saw a post today that we are up and running. And so, we have some slots available. We are not doing a full cohort this time. It's our first time. We want to make sure we get it right. And so, we have a cohort that will be starting this month, and I'm looking forward to it. We have some classes that you all will be hearing about around grant writing and managing your team and how to be more efficient, strategies, how to create creative strategies. Because when you don't have a lot of money, you have to be very creative. And for those of us who have not had, I'm still working on the having a lot, y'all. I'm just saying, I have not arrived yet. But I will say that for those of us who have grown up in situations where you have had to want and you have maybe opened up the refrigerator and wondered, okay, when is there going to be something in here to eat? When you've had those experiences in life, you absolutely learn how to be creative. You learn how to figure out how to stretch the dollar, like Tupac said, trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. You learn how to do that when you don't have. And so the thing that happens oftentimes is when we start to have, we forget the creativity that we utilized before when we had nothing. And so we talk about those strategies in the Mission Rich Academy. And so for those of you, again, March 15th is the deadline. That's all you're going to hear from me about the S Corps. If you want to file as an S Corporation, this year instead of a single member LLC filing on your Schedule C. Actually, it's for next year. This year has already passed the deadline, but for next year, okay? For 2024 tax year. Now, back to what I was talking about. Trust your guts. What am I talking about? So, one of my actually my former pastor used to say all the time, trust God and check everybody else out thoroughly. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride with that. And I absolutely have applied that to a lot of things that I do in life. Sometimes because I can be nice, I was in the hood and I grew up in the hood and I used to do all the things that people did in the hood, right? You got to defend yourself. And then when I got saved and everything like that, and I got to move into a different environment and elevated, my education and all of that, I didn't have to protect myself in the same ways that I had to protect myself in the hood. I didn't have to, you know, protect myself. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay. So when I had to protect myself in the hood, there were certain things physically that you had to do to make sure that you could be all right. And when I got into being educated and getting into the corporate world and all of that, I didn't have to protect myself in the same way. However, I still understood that I had to protect myself. What am I saying? When you move into corporate, when you move into the business world, you can't play by the same rules that you used to play with, right? Because it's first of all, it's illegal. You don't want to be threatening people and harassing people and all of that. That's just not okay in the workplace. And although some people do it and think they can get away with it, you always are going to reap what you sow. But back on track for those of you who are finding yourself in this space and you're like, okay, this is what I used to have to do to survive. Now, how do I survive in corporate America? How do I survive as an entrepreneur? And there's a different way of survival because you have to learn how to network, you have to learn how to trust people, you have to learn how to support other people, how to outsource. All of those things are super important, right? In order for you to be successful. However, the same way that you had to learn how to trust that instinct, that survival instinct, that intuition, whatever you want to call it, that sixth sense. The same way you had to learn how to do that when you were trying to protect yourself growing up in the neighborhood you might have grown up in, or getting on the subway, depending on where you live, and going into certain neighborhoods, depending on where you live. The same way you had to have that, you have to have a similar strategy when you are dealing with business. Okay? Because if you don't protect yourself, you don't protect your intellectual property, okay, copywriting, trademarking, things of that nature. I'm going through the process now of getting some things trademarked. I've already started the copyright process on several things that I've been working on and that I have worked on. Because you have to protect your intellectual, you have to protect your emotional and your mental, right? Having your mental health is super important, your emotional health is super important. So, strategizing how you're going to take care of yourself and putting that into your calendar, putting that into your schedule. What are some things that I can do every single day to protect my mental and emotional being? Because, again, they had a saying when we were growing up, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Yes, they will hurt you. When somebody is disrespecting you in the boardroom, talking down to you, ignoring you, um, talking to you like you're stupid, talking over you, restating what you stated, but acting like it's more important because it came out of their mouth, those kinds of things can be very hurtful. However, you cannot act like the people that are treating you that way, and you absolutely can't act the way you used to act when you was growing up in the hood because you're going to jail. So I'm saying that to say, like, you have to trust your gut. Don't let people push you into a space where you're ready to react the way that you used to react. And if you're around my age, it was before social media. Okay, so people really don't understand. However, with or without social media, there is a certain way that we should carry ourselves in a business and professional manner. And I talk about this in my book, Mission Rich and Profit Power, right? How we have to operate in empathy and authenticity and integrity, because when we operate in that space, it actually can be more attractive to a funder, to an investor, to a banker, to somebody who wants to work with you than you actually having the financial capacity or even having your books in order and all of that. Now, what I'm saying, please understand, I'm not telling you not to care about your books being in order. I'm not telling you not to care about making sure you have a strategic plan and all that. But what I am saying is that how you act and interact with people is oftentimes more compelling of a reason for somebody to want to work with you than everything else. Okay? Because when you can connect with people, that is special. When people feel like they can trust you, that is special. And the reason why I say that is that if you are not taking heed to trust your own gut, you will find yourself in a situation where you are abrasive, where you are bitter, where you are talking back and loud and hateful because you're hurt, because you're stressed, because you're frustrated, because you allowed someone in your space that you know you should not have allowed in your space, but you did because you did not trust your gut. You forgot the same instincts and intuition that you used growing up that kept you protected and safe. You forgot all about that because now you think you're in a different world and you can let your guard down. No, you can't let your guard down. You still have to trust your gut. If somebody seems like a snake, sounds like a snake, talks like a snake, they are a snake. Don't wait for them to slither on the ground to prove to you that they're a snake. Because you already know, you already felt it, you already seen it, you already vibed it. You already met somebody like this person before, and you've told yourself that because they have a degree, or because they have a multi-million dollar business, or because they're connected to so and so politically, that they must be okay. Do not let your guard down. Don't be a guard dog running around woofing, barking at everybody, but don't let your guard down. If you feel that somebody can't be trusted, they are likely not able to be trusted. If you feel that somebody has negative intentions, like they're looking at your books and now they're making assumptions as to how much they're going to charge you because now they see how much money you have, or if you are working with somebody and now that they know who you're connected to, all of a sudden they're trying to move a different way, or they're trying to screen your stuff and send you what they want you to have versus what people. I'm telling you this because I've experienced it, okay? I've had people that have screened stuff to give to me because they think they know better than me, but really they were setting up for their own business to be successful, their own brand, and not at all concerned about my brand or concerned about me or my business. They were using me and my leverage and my relationships to get ahead. People do that. Smiling in your face, mannerable, and educated, and they will steal what you have worked so hard for and what you have put your money in for. So I don't know who or why I had to share this on today. I don't know why I got moved from talking about S corps today to talking about trusting your gut, but it's just imperative that as you grow, know this. And I'm about to get real spiritual on y'all for a minute. The devil has been here before you. The devil is smarter than you. Okay? So when you start messing around with people that have been in these arenas and operating, being cutthroat and stealing from people, like I know somebody who had somebody very close to them go in, okay, and try to steal their business right from under them in the name of, oh, they didn't know any better. They knew better. You don't steal somebody's business. You don't accidentally steal somebody's business, okay? So don't be foolish. Just because somebody knows more than you in a certain area doesn't mean that you put your entire business, everything you've worked hard for in their hands. I tell people this all the time. I know how to run business. I know how to start businesses. I know how to grow businesses. I know how to get businesses funded. And when I say businesses, I'm talking about nonprofit and for profit, right? I understand these things, but I also know what I don't know. I will never have a client hire me to do a job that I am not capable of doing or bringing somebody onto my team who has the expertise to carry it out. I'm not. I have transparency enough to tell a person, like, here are the areas where I will absolutely knock it out the ballpark. Here are the areas where you want to bring an expert to do XYZ. I know of people. If you are more than willing, I will share some of those names with you and we can bring them into the fold to get the work done. Or if you have somebody else who has these credentials, I will absolutely work with them. That is what I do because I understand that you cannot be an expert in all things. We talked about this a couple of months ago. You could be jack of all trades, master of none. However, it's better to be that than a master of only one thing. So I am not a master of everything. I'm a master in helping you get funding. I know how to write a grant. I know how to get a grant. I mean, I can tell you those things because I've managed multi-million dollar grants. I've gotten multi-million dollar grants. I've started an organization with nothing, and we now have received multi-million dollar funding. However, guess what? I also know the parts that I'm not as good at. So I am not going to sell somebody something that I am not able to bring to pass. I know how to build teams. I know about training. I know about cultural humility and equity and things that I've been trained on that I have certification and credentials on. I know about board governance. I know about starting organizations, getting them established and structured in administration. I know what I know. I am not an expert social media person. I am not an expert marketer. I am not, right, an expert credit repair or getting business credit person. I'm just not. So I won't pretend to be something that I'm not just for the sake of getting someone's money. I am completely honest and transparent about the areas that I'm gifted at. And I say this to you. If you are working with someone who is not willing to be honest about the things that they are not good at, about the areas where they know that they are most effective and going to be most effective in helping you, and the areas of where they are rounding out what they can do, and that where they can bring in someone to help in as expertise or where you can get the expertise, then I would absolutely trust the fact that this person is trying to be all things to me, and which means that either they're in over their head or they don't have the right motives. Now, what I'm not saying is that if you have a company and the company says they can do XYZ, I guarantee you the person who's presenting to you is not going to do it all. So they will tell you, this is the person that's going to handle your accounting. This is the person who's going to handle your books. This is the person that's going to handle your marketing or whatever, right? Because there are some companies out there who have the ability to provide all kind of services, but one person is not doing them. One person is not doing the web design, the graphics, the strategy for the site, meeting with the client, setting up the fight. One person is not doing that. And if they say they are, run. Do not pay them. Do not give them any money. Okay? Check out your references. If somebody gets offended because you ask for a reference, run. Run. If you sit down with somebody to find out pricing and they give you a price point and it's a range contingent upon, oh, they need to review your books and see where your budget is, run. Now, if you're a bigger organization, it actually works opposite. What happens is if you are working with a bigger organization and you know because you've done your research that you're dealing with a multi-million dollar organization versus somebody who's making a couple of $100,000 or less, you already know that your budget needs to be a certain level in order to do that. And it is not easy to get into that market from the reverse part as the entrepreneur. That is very difficult to do. But I'm talking about the person that comes to you and they are like, "Oh yeah, um I have a range of how much I charge for writing grants. I charge between 50 and $150 an hour, and if you get the grant, I need to get 30% of it." Run. Okay? Run. If you have questions, because I know a lot of people ask me questions about, hiring a grant writer and all of that stuff. That's usually like my number one question about what should you do and how to do that. Please inbox me. I'm more than happy to share some best practices for onboarding the right grant writer and all of that kind of stuff. And I also do offer classes so that you can attend them, learn what needs to be learned, or send somebody who wants to be a grant writer to come and participate in those classes so that they can learn more about what to do and what not to do. So it is about 20 minutes in. So I am getting ready to get up out of here because I have some place to go. And like I said, it's all about that nourishment. I know that on Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, I got to get some nourishment, some spiritual nourishment. So I go and I do what I need to do. And that's how one of the ways that I take care of my mental health, my spiritual and emotional well being. So whatever it is for you, find it, do it. It's very, very important. Okay. All right. So as we get ready to close out, I want to remind you, trust your gut. Trust your gut. You're gonna be like telling yourself that all week. I remember that person I shouldn't have worked with. Guess what? It's all a lesson learned. That's how you learn how to trust your gut. The feeling that you had that led to the bad relationship is the feeling that when you get it again, don't engage. Okay? Engage with extreme caution. So as a reminder, as we get ready to close, my new book, Mission Rich and Profit Powered, is at Amazon. It will soon be expanded to some other places. We are in process of getting an audiobook done because many of you have asked, and we will absolutely respond with the audiobook. That will be coming out in the very near future. And we will also have some other platforms. There's also a workbook that comes with our book. And when you order from missionrichandprofitpower.com, ordering from me directly, you will have access to purchase the workbook that comes with it. There is an ebook version and there is a paper version of that workbook. And last but not least, if you liked what I was talking about today and you're like, look, lady, I need to sit down. I need to learn more. I need some regular consultations. I need to be a part of your classes. I need to be a part of your group sessions. Then you need to reach out to me at latonia at monroenaylor.com or go straight to my social media page. You'll see some postings about the Academy. Select I'm interested. We will make sure that you get invited to fill out a questionnaire and hopefully become a part of my cohort for Mission Rich Academy. All right, y'all. Have a blessed one. Good night.